Greeting, ladies and gentlemen. My topic for today's lecture is ASEAN. ASEAN stands for Association of Southeast Asian Nations. As understood by the name, it is a grouping of the collaboration of the Southeast Asian nations. The grouping was formed in 1967 when the Southeast Asian nations come together to contribute on trade, visa, and share of culture. Today, the ASEAN nations have a free trade agreement between them, and there is no tariffs between the trade happening between these nations. Secondly, they have also a visa-free access of each other nation, and they are also collaborating on the culture exchange. The ASEAN bucks under the banner of one vision, one identity, and one community. The grouping today has about 10 members, which include Singapore, Laos, Vietnam, Cambodia, Brunei, Malaysia, Indonesia, and other nations. Let us discuss the importance of this grouping today. The grouping contributes about $4 trillion in the global GDP, and they contribute about 8.5% of the population of the world. So discussing ASEAN is an important today. And for Indians perspective, ASEAN is an important partner because we have the largest trading partner in terms of the GDP, in terms of exports and imports as ASEAN. So ASEAN is very important for India. Secondly, ASEAN is an important partner of India's Look East policy and the Sagar initiative. And we are collaborating by making many development programs like India, Myanmar, Thailand highway. Secondly, we are also collaborating with Myanmar on the Kaladan multimodal project. So these are the importance of ASEAN for India. Now let us discuss some facts regarding ASEAN. ASEAN is today the third largest market in the world. It is also the fourth largest exporter in the trade. Now coming on, what is the present status? Recently concluded summit of the ASEAN was held in Laos, and the nations are contributing significantly. And recently India has also celebrated the 10 years relationship with ASEAN and also gave a 10-year agreement in which we have reiterated our conviction on the climate change, and we also started the program called Ek Ped Maa Ke Naam. Now coming on the challenges with this grouping. The Chinese threat and aggression in the South China Sea poses a big challenge for the ASEAN nations. The continuous aggression on the Philippines vessels on the South China Sea and other nations like the territorial disputes is an important threat that need to be given some solution. The second thing is the differences between the ASEAN nations, which includes some nations are communist, some nations are democratic, some nations are authoritarian. So a difference of opinion also happens. Similarly, a rich and poor divide is also dividing the ASEAN nations. The drug trafficking in the Golden Triangle is an important cause of concern for the nations, and we cannot forget the climate change. Climate change is also affecting the ASEAN nations because both or most of these ASEAN nations has the oceanic boundary. Now coming on, what are the solutions of the ASEAN and Indian relationship, and what are the solutions of these challenges that I mentioned? The first solution is India should strengthen its partnership in the defense perspective with export of weapons like BrahMos missile and also the Tejas aircraft and Rudra helicopters. Similarly, we should strengthen our defense relations by many bilateral and multilateral exercises with these nations. We can also train our youth in semiconductor development because these nations are a semiconductor hub. We can understand and inculcate these skill training for the semiconductor market. Third is we can monitor and regulate the Golden Triangle so that our northeastern states are not affected by illicit drug trafficking and insurgency. At the end, I would also like to mention that we have a negative trade deficit with ASEAN nations, and we should focus upon it and we should clear it as soon as possible because it will have a good impact. If it is improved, then it will have good impact on our currency and it will bolster our currency too. Thank you.